So this is the Euro Pound analysis for Thursday, 2nd of November. Now, let's just have a look what happened on the 1st of November. So on the 1st of November, we had the continued follow through that we expected to the downside on the Euro Pound. And we seem to have had a fundamental catalyst just around the candle which opened at 2 p.m. and closed at 3 p.m. that saw a very sizable move to the upside, counter to the overall trend. Overall trend being to the downside, but we've had a strong candle here that closed at 3 p.m., which would likely be a fundamental catalyst of some kind. I'm not sure if it's euro or pound related. And we've come up to test this major level in around the 8783. So operating within the in the shadow of this catalyst, we could potentially see prices go back up to, we do look poised for another retest of 8783 before we see a breakdown in prices heading towards our downside target of 8663. Now, however, the catalyst does prove to be a turning point in the market. The next move might be a test, pullback, and then a break of this 8783, above which we'll probably have another test or consolidation before we break to the upside for potential upside targets. Now, these are going to be counter trend, as we do expect over the medium to long term for the euro to weaken against its counterparts in light of the ECB extending QE and their willingness to act if there's further weakness within the eurozone. So if we do extend beyond 8783, the very next level is at 8820. If we do successfully break that level, or there isn't much of a reaction around this 8820, we do expect to see a reaction. Our next target is all the way up at 8850. A very strong level, which we would expect to see a pullback all the way down to 8783. Now, we did mention the level below that we were targeting over the medium term. We might not get down there this week, but the actual target is all the way down at 8663. So in light of this, in the shadow of this catalyst here, I'm not sure what it is, we may not get down to 8663 to sometime late next week, as we may get a bit of a counter trend move. We do look poised to have a bit of a counter trend move, although we do have the Bank of England, so we have to see how that plays out, whether they are sufficiently hawkish to see a move all the way down to 8663, or if there is a rate hike and a dovish statement, we could potentially see a further pullback in prices. All levels have already been mentioned, so we're just going to have a look at the weekly and daily time frame before we wrap up the analysis here. So start with weekly. On a weekly time frame, again, we are having a pretty strong bearish week. We're closing. We're trading near the lows of the week so far. We did have the catalyst on the execution time from the hourly, but we are trading near the lows. But we are trading into a bit of a zone. We saw with this. So it's a bit of a pin bar over here to euro on the 25th. With the weekly candle which opened on the 25th. So we are operating within that zone. So we may see some buy momentum because we did see some follow through the week after. So we might stall just here. But we have to see how prices develop. Now, where was the actual low there? The actual low on the candle which opened on the 25th, just bear with me a second, is all the way down 87.46. So it's all the way down 87.46. Oh, that's interesting. 87.46. If we go to the, let's just see where actual lows were actually. Our lows down here were 87.38. So it's within 8 or so pips of that level, so it might just be a case of some technical buying in around that 87.46 level that we saw this strong move to the upside. So we could turn around before breaking this level, but we've already mentioned that. So I'm just going to have a look at the let's have a look. Are there any dynamic levels? No, there aren't any dynamic levels of note. We do have the 50 period moving average here on the weekly time frame It is currently sitting all the way down at 87.11. Let's just have a look at the daily time frame before wrapping up. So on this daily time frame, as you can see, we've come down to this. We've come down to our most recent swing lows, and we broke below it, but we've come down to this 200 period moving average here on the daily chart. We've put in a bit of a pin bar, as can be seen there. So a counter trend move, possibly up to that 88.50 level before we come back down to test 86.63. But as we have got the swing here, as well as the 200 period moving average, we may get an even, stronger retracement. So if we get a stronger retracement, we'll be looking at all the way up at 87.73. I can't imagine prices will extend far beyond 87.73 before we see some further selling momentum. So that should wrap up the Euro Pound analysis. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.